We'll see.
Is it time to start?
No one's got a cold. Ma, Dave's on a business trip, and we don't want to do the show without him, so we're zooming him in.
You can't tell anybody I'm on a business trip.
But there's no one has a cold.
You're not allowed to say that.
I've got text messages like, "Is dude in a
Dave's
hotel?"
on a business trip.
I don't want the government to know where I am.
Hey, Shawn, put that mic closer to your face. You're quieter than everyone.
All right, we're ready to start?
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, let's start this, man. It's going to be an interesting show.
What are we talking about?
This show's going to go viral.
What are we talking about?
This is State of the Union. Here we go.
What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast, Prodigal Sons. Listen, the studio, it was getting a little old. We felt like a little too comfortable. So we decided just one episode, we're going to go back to the Zoom thing just because, we've just gotten comfortable with it. And listen, in other news, Tom Rivera spent the last hour and a half trying to get onto the Zoom call. It's like he's never used it before. And it was literally the funniest thing that's happened to me all day. And I really enjoyed that. And Tom's a little angry at technology right now. And it's going to be an awesome show. Shawn Rivera is going back and forth between I'm going to hit you with a brick. Shawn Rivera.
What is he talking about?
I don't even know what I'm talking about. Sean Conroy is going back and forth between I'm going to hit you with a brick and I'm going to do your taxes with a brick. Sean Conroy. Elijah just had the cops at his place. He's got some stuff going on. I don't even want to know. I'm broadcasting from an undisclosed location somewhere very, very far away from extradition. Sarah Beecher is holding down the fort because she's the only one who's not on the run from the law or, otherwise having issues tonight. But we are looking forward to this show. We have so much to talk about. We were off last week, and we have a lot of catching up to do, don't we, boys?
I'm wanted, dead or alive.
But mostly dead. All right, because you all know, this is, by the way, like us, subscribe, share, post, do whatever you got to do, because everybody, the word on the street is that this is the podcast that walks right up, smacks you in the face.
I didn't even hear a smack noise when you did.
Oh, wow. You went there with it. You Will Smith it.
I did what?
You Will Smith it.
Who's Will Smith?
That guy that smacks people in the face.
No.
Hey, I have no idea what you're talking about. You got to remember, I was raised in the wild, wild west. I don't know anything about what you're talking about with this pop culture thing.
Look, let's just stop this and continue our pursuit of happiness, because I have no idea what's going on here. None.
Okay. Yep.
None.
Listen, that's fresh, Prince.
This topic is very heavy. It's as heavy as 7 pounds. I'm just saying.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And it's not even summertime yet.
But if I had 3 wishes, from a genie that just came out of a bottle, it would be to understand what you guys are talking about and who this Will Smith guy is.
Wow. You know what? You don't understand the same way parents just don't understand.
Oh.
So, hey, so Tom, several episodes back, we had a conversation about our watches. I mean, I'm talking 20 episodes ago. Remember that we were talking about our smart watches telling us, that we should, how about going for a walk around the block?
Yeah.
How about doing some calisthenics? How about jumping some rope? You know what mine has started saying recently?
Oh, boy.
Breathe.
It just says this. Why not try standing up? I think it's given up. So first of all, I have two questions. One, has it completely given up hope that I am capable of walking around the block and that I'm willing to do any sort of exercise? And I actually think it's concerned that I might not be able to stand up anymore.
That's hilarious because I'll do a lot of schoolwork, right? Because schoolwork takes me a long time, and it's constantly telling me it's time to get up, and I'm like, no, it's not. You want to do my homework?
That's that little stupid cartoon guy too. It's like, you're not even real. You have no idea what the pressures are in this fight.
Whoa. Take it easy on the fictional character there. Inanimate objects you're going ham on. What's up with that?
So I did start working out this week again. I went on the elliptical for a while, and I did.
While?
Listen, don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Don't ask questions that I don't want to answer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Listen, it was more than 5 minutes and less than what I should have. Okay.
That's a start.
It's a
Just
start.
once, he said, right?
I also got this really cool bench. It's like a multi-position. I don't know what it's called. A multi-positional workout bench thing. And what I really like is it's, it does all these fancy whatever. If you put the seat back all the way up and you sit on the butt part and you put your seat back up, it's really comfortable to like eat Cheetos and ice cream and stuff and watch TV.
Question.
Yes, sir.
How can you put your seat back up?
The back part goes up.
That's like saying, could you put the seat back forward? I'm just trying to understand what you're saying, man.
I'm just saying it's a comfortable seat for eating ice cream. I'm not really sure what its intended purpose is. I'm pretty sure it's not that.
But you just said Cheetos, and now it's ice cream. Like,
I said Cheetos and ice cream.
He put
Okay.
This sounds like
ice cream.
This sounds like a cheating bench. A cheating on my exercise and diet bench. I think it needs to get out of
No. It's in the room with the elliptical. So it's a workout bench.
So
What do you do with your basement? I don't understand why you're not turning that into a gym.
I did. It's now a gym.
Tell us.
how
you
much
should
is the
stop
membership?
I'm so confused as to what just happened, but I think it was awesome.
Okay, so from
I
my
wasn't gonna say
perspective,
something.
I'm watching the video, and I just messaged this to Tom. I saw
I'm having a
Tom
hard day.
try to take off his jacket, look at his armpit,
Oh, no
stare at
way.
it, put his jacket back on, and then
I
just
don't
pretend he did
understand.
nothing.
Because I wanted to take it off, but like, Sarah caught it. Wow, that's so funny.
I totally didn't see it, but
Neither did
Elijah
I.
was yelling. Elijah was yelling at me at the time. So, what I want you guys to do, I'm gonna give you guys some homework this week. Go online and find DK Metcalf's interview about his diet. Did you see that, Elijah?
No, but I just know that we have a chance of getting them. But continue.
Oh, that's funny that you think you do. I mean, he's coming to the Northeast, but it's not going to be to the Eagles. That fine specimen of a wide receiver is going to the Jets. Okay. It's going to be fly,
Oh, buddy.
Jets, fly. Okay.
Nobody goes
So-
to the Jets unless it's their last season.
Hey, who knows? It might be his last season.
Don't say that.
Okay. Look up the DK Metcalf interview in which he talks about his diet. Okay. He's 24 years old. Let me pull this up. He's 24 years old. He runs a 4.3 40, 6'4", 235 pounds. I can't do it justice because he's got an awesome voice. Whenever the Jets destroy his wide receiving career, he will go straight to the analyst booth because he's got a great voice. But he was doing an interview the other day, and you can find it online, where he goes, "Yeah, you don't want to ask me about my diet." He goes, "I don't eat anything. I wake up, I go work out, I stop at Starbucks, I get a coffee. I'm good till like 4 p.m. He's like, then I order, get this, I order 3 bags of candy. 3 giant bags of candy. He's like, they show up, I eat them, I work out again, then I eat at dinner, then I go to bed."
You can
I'm
Uber
on that
Eats
diet.
candy.
I don't get the results.
Yeah. So Sarah, thanks for catching that.
No, you can Uber.
He
You can Uber
orders.
anything. I heard
He
you.
orders candy. He just orders 3 bags of
Tom's
candy.
looking to do it right now. Tom is trying to find
Yeah.
out Uber.
That's sad.
My man orders 3 bags of candy, eats them, works out, and then has dinner. And all I got to say is this man is my hero, and I respect it. I'm in on it. I just don't know if are the workouts optional or I don't know how that works.
Is that
but
what
seriously,
the workout part of it? That's what's not working for me. It's that I'm not putting in the workout.
I think that's one of the things. Yeah.
Because I got his diet to a T.
But I tell you what,
But
though,
you
dude,
don't have his age.
Yeah, I don't have the eggs.
eggs.
Eggs. I said age.
Oh,
He's having tech problems tonight, Elijah. Don't make
I
fun of
am.
him.
I'm on a little tiny
it could-
screen tonight.
It
I
could
can't
be
even see
aging
you
problems
guys.
as well.
I
I
can't
did
even
try-
see you guys. Listen, I want to put it out there. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe for a new laptop. Am I allowed to do that? Is that wrong?
So we were talking about this while you were, having that hour and a half where you were, having trouble connecting. I don't think you should GoFundMe for the laptop. We
Okay.
think you should do a GoFundMe for a technical assistant.
Sarah, are you available?
I am, but I'm not cheap.
You better set that GoFundMe pretty high.
Pretty high.
Yeah, somebody who just can unplug it and plug it back in and restart it, check for updates.
Somebody can get a flat tire and call for AAA. Just wait.
I think you need an assistant. What do you think?
I need a new laptop is what I need.
That laptop is able to get Windows 11. My laptop is not able to. If you get a new laptop, I will totally buy yours.
You just need to defragment your drive and
Deal.
So, Tom, let me
I'll
ask you a
sign
question.
my old laptop for the price of the new one.
wow.
Yeah.
Tom, let me ask a question. Tom, when you had a brand new iPhone, did it work for you? Was it work?
No, it didn't work for me. For me is the key words on there.
Right. When you had a brand new smartwatch, did it charge for you?
No, it did not.
When you had a brand new pen last week, did it write for you?
No, it did not, Dave. I see where you're going with this.
And tonight, your laptop with Windows 11 doesn't work. I'm just saying, it seems to me like there's a pattern here that a brand new laptop isn't going to break.
I'm just saying.
You're making a lot of sense.
Maybe a tech assistant and some counseling.
You're making a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you push buttons that slide. Just saying.
This is my favorite episode ever.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. But that whole sliding of the thing, if there's a button, right? You see a button, what do?
You
push
slide it.
No, you push it.
Push it.
It's not a light switch. It was a button. I don't understand why the iPhone put a button to switch.
It's not
Hey,
a
Shawn,
button.
dancing.
It's not a button. It's a toggle switch.
A toggle switch?
Toggle. That's why it goes like that. Not
Hey, listen, Tom, if you got a tech assistant, who knows, that day might be your Independence Day.
Ooh.
At the very least, it'll be the day that you stop reusing passwords.
And you could get jiggy with it.
Nah.
Sarah, you're just telling all my secrets tonight.
Wow.
Okay, the sweat thing was literally on camera.
The sweat thing was hilarious. When your message came on my laptop, Tom, was that a sweat check on camera? I died. That was so funny. Because I didn't think anybody caught it. And then I had to look again because I wasn't sure. So now I got to keep this on.
Or you just slide out, change your shirt.
This calls
Slide
for a
back
pack
in.
of M&Ms.
Beautiful.
You should put a black suit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a man, get a man in black.
Yeah.
That one wasn't very good. Okay. Okay, I promise they. Does this make me a bad guy?
Okay.
I don't.
Oh, I get the black suit reference.
You do?
Yeah,
I do.
Are we beating you over the head with these Will Smith references? I mean, we don't want to give you a concussion.
I can't wait to talk about this topic later on.
Okay. My vote is you guys are going to say this does not make me a bad guy. That's my call. I am not a patient man. Never been accused of being a patient man. I know it comes as a shock. Eliza's got a shocked face on right now. I absolutely, happened to me twice today, cannot stand when I travel somewhere. Like tonight, it happened when I checked into the hotel. I drove here and I'm staying in a hotel. So, I didn't drive here from like nearby. Like I'm on a journey. I stop at a hotel and I go in to check in. And she says, "Hi, how can I help you?" And I say, "My name, I have a reservation." And the phone rings. And they answer the phone. And they proceed to talk to the person on the phone for 10 minutes. Does that make me a bad person? That I'm like secretly very, very upset about that.
Was it a work-related call?
Oh, yeah. It was somebody who wanted a hotel room, which I reserved and drove to the hotel. I'm just saying I went to a little more effort than the person who's on the phone.
Yeah, she should have put the person on the phone on hold and talked to you.
"Hi, this is the person at the hotel. Can you hold for a minute? I'm with somebody."
That's usually what happened. That means they didn't like you.
Nah, can't be.
I mean, every time I go to a hotel and the phone rings, they say, "Hi, so please hold," and then they put it right back down.
You're saying it's me?
Did she give you a red cup when you came in?
She tried to hit me with a fire extinguisher when I came in.
Nice.
You know what's funny about your hotel stay is that I won't be shocked if you got up at like 2 a.m. and just took off to wherever your destination is. Like you literally probably just got the hotel room to do the show, and then after the show, you're gonna pack up and check out.
I actually thought about that, but no, I am actually going to sleep here, and my alarm is set. What's funny is every time I check into a hotel and they say, "Oh, breakfast starts at 6," and I'm like, "I'm going to be gone at 4:30, so that doesn't matter. Can you make me breakfast now, and I'll take it with me tomorrow?" But
you got
anyway,
the vending machine.
Shawn's quiet.
Shawn
hasn't said anything.
Shawn hasn't said a word.
I don't think Shawn knows this is a podcast. I think he thinks it's a TV show.
Yeah, I'm just watching. I'm just there for the entertainment value. I'm gonna Michael Jackson, get a box of popcorn, and just that's what I'm done.
He's over there chuckling. All right, Sarah.
Shane said that makes you a bad guy.
Oh, I need to pop back over here onto my live feed. Why does that make me a bad guy, Shane?
Shane, tell him why it makes him a bad guy.
I don't. Shawn's soaking his feet. Oh, somebody. Somebody.
Listen, Sarah, I'm hoping you're going to put that picture up.
Oh, I got you.
Why would you post that?
Listen, what's wrong with self-care, sir?
I'm not saying anything wrong with self-care. My question was, why would you post that?
You want to know what's really funny?
I don't post a picture of me plucking my eyebrows.
Nobody wants to see that.
What's really funny is I wasn't watching Facebook, but I got the message from Tom that's with the picture.
There it is. There's the picture.
Remind me, why am I posting this?
I don't know.
So I
was wondering the same thing.
Tom sent that picture to the group and said, "This is going to make it onto the chat, or this is going to make it onto the show." And I'm like, "Man, Tom, you got some white legs." I thought it was you. I had no idea it was Shawn until an hour ago.
It wasn't me.
For someone that's avoiding a relationship, my man's getting facials, my man's getting pedicures, and now he has his own machine at home to massage his hip, to whatever that does.
I didn't get a pedicure. I bought the foot soaker thing, and I may have gotten elderberry
Immaculate.
scented Epsom salts to put in the foot soak thing.
And you got a facial.
And I did get a facial. I'm not gonna. And I just bought, on the recommendation of my esthetician, I got some new moisturizer with grapefruit.
Oh,
and
you're what?
It's not a recommendation. It's the sell-up.
What's an esthetician?
Is that a person who rides horses?
No, I think that's the person who puts you under when you go in for surgery.
Gotcha.
All of those things.
But they're doing grapefruit. They're doing grapefruit infused esthetology now, which puts you out for your surgery.
Yep. They just put a whole grapefruit in your face until you go under.
That's awesome. You know what? Natural. That's the way I want to go.
It's called suffocation, but okay.
I don't care. Grapefruit smells so good. That's the way I want to go out. That's a good way to go.
When was the last time you ate a grapefruit, Dave?
Shane said, "Do not post pictures of men."
It's been a minute.
I'll keep those off of Facebook for you, Shane. I
thought about it before I said it.
And Crystal said, "Good for you, Shawn. Self-care rocks."
Crystal is a pastor at
our
our church, and she's very kind.
Crystal Pulley, not Crystal Gold.
I honestly think you guys are onto something, because in the last 3 weeks, Shawn's bought a new house.
Yeah,
he's got new furniture. He's got new glasses. I'm pretty sure that's a
green TV, 85-incher.
Yeah, he's got new furniture. He's got his foot soaking thing. He's got an esthetologist.
Next thing you know, we're gonna call him. He's gonna say, "New phone, who this?"
Do you think that's what it is? He's got himself another podcast?
I don't know, man. There's something going on with him.
I think he's got another crew that he's secretly hanging out with behind our backs.
he's got his pond with fish and frogs in it.
Oh, he's getting a new.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I getting?
He's getting a new car. He said he's going to have to go to Pittsburgh or something. He's taking trips.
Shane said, and he bought a grown-up bed.
I did. I got a queen bed from the twin. Yep. I'm no longer in a kid's bed. I have a man-sized bed now.
We're just going to notice one day that he's got a ring on his finger, and we're going to be like, what happened? He didn't invite us to the wedding. He's just like,
we're going to go over to his house and get some of that buffalo dip that Andreas makes. He's like, "Hey, this is my wife." What?
Yo, he's a district pastor now, so he's probably just going to marry himself. He's not even have to do anything.
I'm like, what? Yeah. There's 2 new dogs.
Sign it myself.
A wife.
Do it all myself.
New dogs.
He's like,
I forgot about that too.
But it's not about us. It's not that he's ashamed. It's that he thinks she must be a good lady, because he thinks that if he lets her meet us, it's over.
Oh, I love where you guys go with this. Every time I try and do something.
What do you think her name is? We should name his.
Oh, let's give her a name.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, I like that. I don't know. Before the show is out, we should. You know what? Whoever's listening, please help us with a name. Whoever's listening or watching, what name should we give?
Whoever's listening, help me find a person with that name, because there is nobody. So, but I do believe that doing things for myself and taking care of myself. I've spent a lot of years where I didn't, and I beat myself up, and I didn't care what I look like or what happened or anything else. So now I'm at a point in my life where that's important. I'm not getting any younger.
Yeah. I think Joyce is a good name for his wife. What do you?
Joyce?
Joyce.
I don't think
so. Is that what you just said?
Joy.
We got Gertrude. You know what's funny? Jonathan, you and I had the same one. I was totally thinking Becky.
Becky sounds like someone you would date. Becky.
Shawn and Becky.
We got to find him a Becky. Becky Conroy.
Alice.
Becky Conroy sounds nice.
Oh my goodness.
So Shawn, I was just
now if I do start dating, I will have to keep it a secret, away from you folks, because
why? Because you date in BC.
All right, let's see. We're gonna switch.
Wait, it'd be crazy if her last name was Conroy too, huh?
Got his glasses on now.
Oh, he's a new person.
He's
Hello,
a new person.
Yeah. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, gents. Up on the tea.
You know when the glasses are on, it's getting serious. I was just, Shawn, I was just up in your neck of the woods last week. I was up in Massachusetts. Actually, I wasn't supposed to say anything about this, but Bill Belichick had a little bit of a crisis of confidence, and he called me and asked me. That's part of my consulting business is I do some consultation for CEOs and executives that are little. After last year, he spent so much money, and they didn't look very good, and they have a quarterback. Anyway, he called me up, and he asked me if I could come do some one-on-one counseling with him. Foxborough is a weird place, dude. That's a weird place.
Why? What's wrong with it?
I got to the stadium. There's a whole dumpster outside full of sleeves, like hoodie sleeves.
Yeah, there's two actually. There's two. There's one on each side of the stadium.
What, the rights and the lefts?
Yeah.
and the whole place, once I got in there, it smelled like orchids. You'll get that later. But anyway.
Did you actually go by it though?
I did. I've been by it a couple times, yeah.
It is the only stadium I've ever been to that looks like something out of The Hills Have Eyes, because it's like way back in the woods there, like off this little two-lane road.
Everybody thinks it's right in Boston, and it's just like out in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
It's like the dirt track there over in Boyertown. It's like it's in the middle of nowhere. It's off in the back, like off a dirt road. It's the craziest thing.
Jonathan, the Jets were not in the playoffs last year. You know how you know? Because they played football last year. Okay, that's how you
started the season. So
when they start the season. That's my favorite game of the year, Jonathan. That's my favorite game of the year because the Jets are 0-0. And
they start off with an even record.
It's the only game of the year they don't have a losing record. And I'm proud of that game. Okay. So don't you take that from me.
Shawn, I got a question for you.
Oh, go ahead. Here we go.
I was talking to a certain somebody today.
Okay.
And, you left something out of your testimony.
Becky.
Becky's been around the whole time.
Wow.
Would you say she's been around?
What about Alice? Betty said Alice.
This is actually kind of a serious question. When did you get saved? Why don't you tell me that story about when you got saved? Because the story you told me on the Prodigal Sons podcast when you gave your testimony, I think you missed out a section of it, and I want to visit it.
Dude, you look straight.
What did I leave out? Because I'm confused. I don't know what I left out. Refresh my memory.
Let's see. I'll give you hints.
Who are you talking to first? If it's Pete, it's probably not the right story because he confuses stories a lot.
So it's obviously Pete because that's who I talked. It's the only person I talked to during the day. He told me the story about. I'll give you clues. Maybe you can refresh your memory.
Give me some hints.
Speaking in tongues.
I never spoke in tongues.
Spanish.
Oh, when I went to the Pentecostal church, I told you about the Pentecostal church.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. That's why I don't like Pentecostals. Because I went to a Pentecostal church.
Wait, I don't want to go there with this. I don't want to go about.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was a joke. It was. I did attend.
We just lost a listener. Okay.
Lizette is never listening to the show again. Yeah, Lizette's never listening to the show again.
I know my sister is not going to be happy about that, but it's interesting because it does have it has a good Anyway, go ahead. I got something to say after.
All right. So anyway, when I was, and it was, it actually was just before I was saved. I wasn't saved yet at this point. But what I was doing was I was checking out different religions and different denominations and different churches. Like I had gone to a mosque and was checking into Islam, and I had met with some people who were supposedly Buddhist, which I think they were just hippies. And I had gone to a temple. I was looking into Judaism and a few other options and stuff. And Frank and Daisy, my kids' grandparents, were going to a Pentecostal church in Pottstown. So I decided to give that a shot with them, when I was trying to figure out where I fit in life. And I was there for a few months with them. And they were Spanish speaking. The pastor's wife would, I had headphones on, and she would translate for me from the back, and it would come into my headset. He would speak in Spanish and she would speak in English in my headset, which was kind of neat. But they would blow the ram's horns, and they would speak in tongues, and it was very loud. But I was pretty involved with them for a little bit. And then some things happened. I walked away from that situation and was still on my search. And then, then everything happened in my car with coming around. But yeah, I did Spanish speaking.
The beautiful part of that story is that, so we were talking about Hillsong Worship. That you guys have seen that yet? The documentary on mega churches.
I have not.
Not seen it yet.
It's an amazing documentary. You gotta watch it.
I know I have to. I just don't want to.
I know it's actually, as a Christian, it broke my heart. But but we were talking about how God still works in weird situations, right? Mm-hmm. So, and then Shawn was brought up because Shawn was real, he was in a bad situation. And you had your moment at that church where you found God. You might not have got saved, but that was the church where God spoke to you.
Yeah, they definitely, and it was funny because the pastor there, Pastor Samuel Cancel, they're still in Pottstown. That church is still active. It's on Beach Street in Pottstown.
Don't tell my sister.
Beach and Franklin, I believe. I can't remember the exact address, but yeah, he actually told me one day we were talking. It was just me and him, and he told me that one day I'd be a pastor, and I'll leave the language up. I told him he was full of you know what, and
sounds like a quack.
He sounds like a nut job. I was like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't think I'm going to be at your church very long, let alone become a pastor. But they definitely were seed planters. They were definitely very influential in my walk.
Yeah.
So you're right. I probably should talk about that more because that was in my trying to process who I was, where I was in life, like going through everything. Like, was I going to follow Christianity? Was I going to follow Judaism? Was I going to whatever religion I had looked into? They were very influential. They were very much seed planters, and he definitely, put that in my head about becoming a pastor. He believed it fully. He heard God say it, and actually, when we were at Ribsters one night, I had left Ribsters, and I left, and they were on the corner there by where the old farmers flea market thing in the corner there had the restaurants in it. They were in that parking lot handing out sandwiches at the one night when we were leaving, and I saw him and I stopped and we talked. This is 2 years ago, and I had told him that I was a pastor, and I was just right before I got my district license, as I was getting ready to get my district license.
Was that? Do you remember a couple times there was somebody out there, a couple people from a church with a speaker and preaching? Was that them? Or was that somebody else?
That was not them.
Okay.
No, they were out there a couple of times handing out sandwiches or dinner platters and stuff at night. Yeah. But that was not them out there with the preaching and stuff. No. Yeah.
It was just an interesting conversation because, I'm telling him about the whole Hillsong documentary and stuff. And all the craziness that happens in that documentary and how much it broke my heart, God is still working and planting seeds throughout that whole craziness, and that's how your name got brought up. He's like, well, actually, Shawn. And I'm like, what? Because, here you go to a church that only spoke Spanish, right?
Yep.
And it was your first experience, and there's people speaking in tongues and all this, but yet you had a God moment. You had a Jesus moment in there. And it's cool, man. And that's why I wanted to bring it up, because he's right, man. We talk about all these stuff, but God is always working, no matter how weird it looks to us. And you know what? I'm actually going to transition in right now, and we can continue to talk about this, because I was trying to figure out what verse to come out with the topic for today, right? Topic today is kind of like current events, what's going on in our lives and things like that. And it kept bringing me back to my favorite verse in the Bible, one of my favorite two verses, which is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. trust in the Lord with all your heart. But the second part of that is the one that I put in my back pocket all the time, and I always take it out and see it. It's lean not on your own understanding, right? Lean not on your own understanding. It's actually a devotional that I gave last night to the basketball guys, and, to let them know, listen, as pastors, we go through a lot of stuff. My daughter's going through that whole thing and the accident, lost Uncle Ann, all that. And through all that, through all the stuff that I don't understand, as a Christian, I'm able to just say, okay, I don't get it, but I'm going to give it to God to worry about. Because I know through all that craziness that I can't figure out in my head, he's working on something. And it was just a beautiful story, and I wanted to bring it up because it kind of gets us into what we're talking today, and that's what's going on in our spiritual lives, what's going on with us. And it was cool, man. It was cool. And maybe you did say it in your testimony, but I guess hearing it again really stuck to me that, wow, he goes to a Spanish church, doesn't understand anything. And on top of that, they're speaking in tongues, and God finds Shawn.
I'm going to be honest. I never thought of it. I'll be honest. I do leave that out when I talk about my testimony. And you're right. That is, I think of the moments that I can clearly say this was God stepping in. But I think it's like we've talked about a bunch of times in the show, is there's times for planting, there's times for watering, there's time for tending, there's time for harvesting. And that was a season of my life for planting. That was people planting seeds in me and getting me ready. Yep. And it's very important. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you guys brought that up for me because I should add that to my testimony, because it was before I was saved. It was before I had found Christ fully. Mm-hmm. It's when I was searching. I was trying to figure it out, and I was, and it's crazy because, there are a lot of people out there right now that are in that kind of same situation, just don't know where to turn, there's a lot of unanswered questions in the world right now.
Yep, and that's the important part, bro. And there's one more, Jeremiah 29:13. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. And it made me think of you, man. I'm like, wow, lean not on your understanding. But he was searching. He didn't know what he was searching for, but he was searching, and then God found him through all that craziness. You don't have to speak English. I'm still going to find you. I mean, you don't have to speak Spanish. I'm still going to find you. And it was just a cool story that I wanted to bring up and transition into our topic today.
Honestly, I don't think he speaks English all that well either.
No.
He's got that funny accent.
He's only got like 24 letters going on in there.
We don't have the same alphabet in Massachusetts as y'all have down here.
Yeah. Hawking by the Hobbit. Just anyway. Sorry, did I kill the mood?
No, you didn't kill the mood. We're still on, man.
The one thing that's been like going through my mind for a while now, and I love that verse, man. Lean not on your own understanding, and you'll. And then when you say that Jeremiah 29:11, that always reminds me of Pastor Larry. Because that was what he always, every time I hear that, I think about him.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I have that's been going around in my mind like the last year has been something that's kind of hard to put into words. I want to make sure that I'm being a genuine person. And I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense or whatever, but, I spent so much of my life growing up trying to please the church and then please all my friends who didn't even know that I went to church, partying on the weekends and then, partying Friday night and Saturday night and going to church hungover on Sunday, but I do see it a lot. And there are certain people, when you get to know them, that just the genuine spirit pours out of them. And I just want to make sure that with the decisions that I make and with the life that I lead, that's what what I'm being. And a lot of times I just find myself being quiet and like not getting involved with stuff because I'm so afraid that I'm going to go there and like put on my happy face, right? Or put on my public, the public relations, whatever. And really, I'm just trying to seek the path that's just to a genuine person, that I'm the same in every room that I'm in without having to, what's the word? I'm gonna forget the word. Elijah, what's it called?
Besides,
There's a word, and you might know what it is, because it's a word that describes when like white people are around black people and they're putting on their own. It's like a facade, but there's an actual term for it, and I can't think of what it is. No, it's all that, right? It's all that. But I'll think of it later once you guys are talking and my brain's free. But I just want to make sure that I'm being the same person in every room that I walk into.
Amen.
You know what, Dave? It's funny you say that because I'm seriously struggling with not necessarily being the same person, but being, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like with all the things that, like, you guys know my story. You know that there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on around my life and everything that's going on. And the problem with that is the problem for me with that is that, could you close that all the way? The problem with me with that is that there are people that I want to talk to, and it's like, all right, I'll talk to them this day, but then there's so many other things going on that I don't get to get right back to them. And then when they reach out to me, it's like, oh, you forgot about me, or you don't care what I got going on, or you don't this, you don't that. And it makes me feel bad because my intentions are never to hurt anybody or ignore anybody or forget about anybody. But people always have tendencies sometimes to make me feel like I'm doing something wrong because I don't have time for everybody. I'm the same person, when we do talk or when we do hang out or, when we have the moment, but I have a hard time trying to stretch myself thin enough to be able to talk to everybody, to make everybody else feel satisfied while not taking everything out of me. Because at the end of the day, like lately, I've been wanting to go to bed like 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I know if I don't make a certain phone call or talk to a certain person or contact a certain person before I go to bed, that's like one more day that I didn't talk to somebody. And I feel bad, that sometimes they don't understand that. It's like, it's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's not that I don't want to, converse or communicate. It's just that, I don't have tunnel vision, but the way my brain operates right now, you give me 3 or 4 things. That's it. Anything outside of that, I can't function. You know what I mean? It gets pushed to the wayside. And I feel bad. I legit feel bad that people think that I'm ignoring them or not caring. But, there's 2 people in the other room that just takes up like 85% of my day. And then I got that other 15%, I'm sorry, Tom.
No, that's your number one ministry. I tell everybody that your family is your number one ministry.
Yeah. So it just sucks because, again, you guys know me. I don't want to have enemies. I don't want anybody mad at me. I don't mean anything by not talking to certain people. It's just that I have to learn to just deal with it, because it's not ill-intentioned. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. And when I see you, if you're mad and I see you and I can't greet you and say, hey, how's it going? And you can't say, well, you didn't this or you didn't that. So you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be talking to you.
Are you talking about Shawn and how you don't like him?
That was supposed to be said off camera, but just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sometimes I forget.
I
don't like studious Shawn.
You gotta. I mean, the thing about it, Elijah, that exactly what you're speaking of is we're supposed to be living a balanced life, and the thing that in order to live a balanced life, we need humility and grace. So the humility part of the equation is what you're taking right now a little bit personal and saying, hey, I can't make time for everybody, but that's where the grace comes in. But always remember that your family is your number one ministry. That's it. I actually had this conversation with Pete. I said, Pastor Pete, my first two ministries right now, my number one ministry is my family. But right now in the season that I'm at, my second ministry that has to come first before anything else is my schoolwork. I got to pull school as a priority for me right now, Right. And that takes humility sometimes, right? But then there's grace as well. And brother, listen, you're doing a beautiful job with those kids, and you're doing a beautiful job living that balanced life that I preach about, man. And the guilt comes from you having a big heart and caring for everybody. So kudos to you, man. You're doing the right things. And you know how I know you're doing the right things? By the fruits that are coming out of you, brother. You gave up basketball last night to see if you could discipleship people in other ways. That was cool, man. I respected that a lot. And you didn't get the turnout but God was up there dancing and looking down on you saying, that's my boy. Like, he proud of you, brother. You're doing it right.
Thank you. I needed to say that. Whew.
Yeah.
I feel better. Better.
Good.
Thank you.
You should.
I think that's a big thing. And I know we made some jokes earlier about it, but I think self-care is a really big thing. Taking time for yourself. Because you know what? Sometimes you have to. And listen, brother, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to learn that myself right now. And that's why I've been posting this stuff, because you know what? I ignored and neglected myself for so long to try and help other people and try and be there for other people. I mean, we made jokes, at church that I'm the 3 a.m. pastor because I don't sleep. I don't do this. I don't do that. And it's important. You can't fill other people if you're running on empty. You just can't. And so for me right now in my life, I'm in a season where I'm refilling and trying to fill at the same time. But I'm trying to find a happy balance. I'm not trying to just keep pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, because you know what? Burnout's real, and you start to get angry with what you're doing. And if you're trying to do ministry and you're pissed off at doing ministry, you're not really doing ministry. You're turning people away, and you're not doing you're not doing it for like you were saying, you're putting on one face to come into this conversation and then go having this conversation in another room. And it can't be like that. That's kind of where I'm at. I try not to do the code switching, how Dave put it. Like, I try not to have, but I'll be honest, I was getting burned out. I was just at my wit's end between work and school and the kids and ministry. And so I had to figure out, what can I do so that I can continue to move at the level I want to move at, because with the way my brain works, I have to have 10, 15 things going at a time, or I don't function. Like, I just can't function when I only have one or two things to do. It's impossible for me. Like, if I sit down to watch TV, I've got my computer open, I'm playing a game, I'm checking TikTok on my phone, I'm doing 6 other things, and I'm still watching the TV show. I can tell you everything that happened in the TV show. I just can't sit and do one thing at a time. But I have to be able to balance that so I'm not killing myself either. So that's where a lot of this stuff for me is coming from. So no, to answer the rumors, there's no woman involved. I'm just for once, I'm decided to take care of myself for a change. That's all.
Dave.
And the other thing, and then I'll stop. I think I'm talking too much today, but back to Elijah. Elijah, also the Bible warns us about what Shawn just said about, getting taken away. 2 Peter 3:17, be on your guard, not to be carried away by the deception of people who have no principles. Then you won't fall from your firm position.
That right there, I need to read it, because that sounds like a situation I had a couple of weeks ago where I was basically being verbally attacked. Someone was in my face, and I think I turned into Shawn for a second, because there was somebody off in the distance shouting some things. So I responded, I think, the way my man Shawn would work. But the situation that was in front of me, as chaotic as it was, I felt peace. I didn't raise my voice. I just backed up and was like, yo, what's going on? I felt that peace. I didn't let that knock me off my square. Whereas though, if this was months ago, I would have fell into that trap and I'd have been in trouble.
2 Peter 3:17. Write that down. That's the one that might be one that you want to have in your pocket, because I do know your family situation, and I do know what's going on with your family, and they seem to want to pull you away from stuff, and you got to be careful with that, brother. You got to be careful with that.
All right, got it. 2 Peter.
Shawn, I'm so glad you brought that up too. I've just been, there's been, for the last several years, just been so much work, to try to catch up on, to stay ahead, whatever. It definitely, I was just telling Lisa the other day, I said, I'm not saying it's going to happen right away, because I'm in busy season and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. But I said, I definitely feel like there's a period coming when I just need to step away and take a break and just refigure out, kind of rediscover what it means to just not rush all the time. So,
listen, I think we all need to. We all need to. There's a few joys that have come into my life right now, and those are the things I'm focused on. It's my kids, and there's a few other things, like my passion for music is just getting stronger and stronger. And me trying to find other ways to connect with the Lord. It's just a lot of things, that are positive, that are happening. And, once you get going and you build that momentum, the devil shows up tries to stand in your way, and you gotta Metcalf that devil, just knock him over and just, and keep going. And sometimes I'll pause for a brief second, but then I realize that you got to keep going. So, it's very, very, very difficult right now, but I'm definitely praying every day, praying when I'm walking, stop and pray, just any chance I get, just pray for something. And a lot of the times, like Tom and you guys, a lot of times the prayers don't even be for me. Like you said, Dave, when you woke up, instead of saying, God, take this pain off my shoulder, you pray for somebody else. Amen. And that's what I've been doing,
Amen. Yeah.
I've been actually saying prayers for people before I go to bed as well. So,
Dave, have you told that story on the podcast? Because that's a great story, brother.
No, I haven't. Yeah, so I've been having this. I hurt my shoulder a few months ago, and it's really, really, really painful. And it's the muscles that hold your shoulder at rest. And so during the day when I'm real active, it doesn't bother me. But when I slow down at night, and it's hurting right now because I've been sitting here in front of the computer. But when I slow down and try to rest at night, it's just this throbbing pain, and I'll go to bed and I'll wake up no less than 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night, just almost in tears. It hurts that bad. And, something happened a week or so ago where I just woke up in the middle of the night and I was feeling so bad for myself because of this physical pain that I was in. And I was just I think the Holy Spirit just slapped me across the face. That I actually didn't mean that as a pun. But the Holy Spirit just came up on stage and just slapped me in the face. But come on, no laughs, whatever.
Focus.
Well, you said it was, you didn't mean it that way, so I respect what you said.
Fine, whatever. Jeez, I'm always up for a laugh. Anyway, so I woke up in the middle of the night, and the Holy Spirit was really, you're gonna feel bad about yourself? How many people don't have an arm? How many people are paralyzed? How many people can't get out of bed? You're yes, you're in pain, but it doesn't mean, look at all the blessings around you and not just the physical pain that you're in. And, I just started praying that night. Every time I woke up, I started thanking God for other things in my life that he's blessed me with, my kids, my wife, just that the kids are healthy, my wife is healthy, that we're, that we love each other, that, all these things, our family, the friends that we have, the church that we have, I started praying about all these things that, instead of looking at the pain, I started looking at the blessings. And that I woke up the next day in pain. I've been in pain since then, but it did change my perspective of okay, this is something that God's given me as a test to work through, and hopefully someday it'll be gone. But, it's just for right now, I just need to change that perspective and look at all the things that are in my life that God has given me, rather than just focus on the negative.
Amen.
Dave, I tell you before, I know it's getting late. And everybody who's watching, I hope you typed in your prayer requests while the show's been going on, so we'll know what to pray for. But for real funny, if we backtrack to the beginning of the show when you say, what white people do when they're around black people, what black people do. I have a funny story. That place Underdog in Pottstown, because family owns that. I placed the order. I told the guys at work, I said, listen, if you guys like this place.
What is it? What's Underdog?
They sell hot dogs.
Okay.
Like gourmet and style hot dogs.
They were like rolling around under the counter or something, or?
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. So anyway, they were saying, oh, they don't deliver. I said, this is where I got big. I said, it's family. They'll deliver. We place an order big enough, I'll make the call. And everybody's like, no. So I'm like, get your order together. So then I call. And Are
they really your family?
Yeah.
Oh, so really?
Yeah.
Man, I'm in trouble now.
One of the owners actually, stayed at my mom's house for a little bit,
Gotcha.
But so, we get the order, and the order's over $100 in hot dogs and side orders and stuff like that. So I call, and I'm at work, so I'm professional. So I call, and he picks up the phone. I'm like, yo, cuz. And he starts talking. I just go into my native tongue, which is, my Philly speak. I'm like, yo, what's good? How everybody doing? Blah, blah, blah. I just start rattling off stuff. And then I placed the order, and I was like, yo, we don't play about our food over here. You get it here on time. Blah, blah. Just went through the whole spew. And he was like, I got y'all. I was like, you got us? I was like, we'll never order from you again if you don't make it here. He's like, I got you. I was like, all right, bet. I'll holler at you. And I hung up. And I looked to my right. Everybody was staring at me. And one of them said, what'd he say? Nobody knew. It was like airplane. Do you speak job? Like nobody knew what I was talking about. And I was like...
I put it in the comments that what I was looking for was like code switching, is like when you're with, and does that make sense? Is that the right term?
I've never heard that.
Okay. So that's the one I was looking for, is like when you're just like with one group of people, like when I'm with business people, I'm about business. When I'm with like church people, I'm about church. When it's like, I just kind of want to figure out, maybe it's a time of peace that I need, but I just want to figure out how to be me all the time. It's not that I'm being bad or being good or whatever. It's just trying to be who I am.
You're just navigating the situations that you're put in. Like, you're not going to go, like, even though you're a New Yorker and you might have that whole mentality, you wouldn't go into a job interview like, hey, what's going on? Like, I'm here for a job. That whole stereotypical, you would speak the way you would expect it, like you want a job.
Well, it's a false premise. I'd never go for a job interview. Okay. I can't do that. Those days are behind me.
I'm just saying, and you know what? You're your own boss. I get it. I'm not
saying I make any money, but I'm just saying I can't work for people. I'm past that.
I'm trying not to either. That's why I'm doing the things I'm doing.
Good man. That's what Tom's doing too. Working for Jesus.
He's working for M&M's right now. Look at that.
And Shawn's trying to take tips so he can finish school. And he can go work for Jesus too.
Let's not forget that Tom was eating M&M's and washing it down with the Red Bull. That's why you had sweat stains, my brother. That is why.
All right. All minds clear?
I think so.
I have to do that. All minds cleared? We good?
Yeah, we got to get out of here because Shawn's got a date with Becky.
I thought it was Alice.
Becky Alice.
You know what?
Sounds like a disease.
Let's just go with Gertrude.
Gertrude.
Gertrude Hawk, maybe.
Oh, you got that one. Good one. What episode was this, guys?
97. I don't think I said that. I didn't say that in the beginning, did I?
No, you did not.
Hey, all right, Sarah, edit this together. What's up, everybody? It's time for another episode of your favorite podcast. This is episode 97.
Bloop. And cut. Right. Hey, guys, thanks for watching episode 97. if we made you laugh, if we made you cry, I know you enjoyed the time you had with us because we always enjoy when you guys watch. And we can feel when you tune in later and listen because we got a little counter and a little ticker that tells us that you do. So, again, I'm going to keep it simple. We're glad you were with us. We hope to see you next week. We will be praying for everybody all the time. This has been, you got to watch us on YouTube, Facebook, listen to us on Spotify, Podcast Addict, Apple. We have TikTok. And we love you. Episode 97 in the books. Man, prayers, my brother.
You hit that like Ali.
Or Will Smith.
I took a second.
I got it. I was Bundini, though.
Nah. Father God. Oh, Father. It baffles my mind why you would put the four of us together. But we thank you anyway, because we're happy to do it. We're happy to have these people come on and watch all the crazy antics that only that you've prepared for us, Father. So we thank you for all this time together. We thank you for everybody that's come on and watched and hang out with us. Father, we want to pray for the Matos family and their loss.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's never easy. It's always tough. It's always difficult, Father. So be with them. Bring a sense of peace. Grief is not easy. So just be with them. Sit with them. And just be with them through this process, Father. For Randy and his family, his decisions need to be made. Help guide them in the decisions that need to be made, Father. Help guide them the best way possible for everybody involved. Father, for Tom's daughter Taina and her family and the loss that they've suffered recently with the accident, Father, for revival, because Lord, we need it. Father, there is some crazy stuff going on in the world, and Lord, just make your presence known across this land, across this nation, across this continent, across the oceans and the continents, across the sea, Father. We need you. We need you now more than ever. And forgive me if I mess up your name, but for Juvel and for guidance and strength and for her family, Father, be with her. Bring her strength to get through the days that are hard. Bring her guidance and wisdom to get through whatever decision she makes, and that her family would be happy and healthy. For Shane in his spring blessing event this Saturday, Father, be with them. Bring a sense of you to their situation so that you can be seen in all of it. Father, for our brother Ralph Ritter and his family.
Yeah, Lord.
You know what it is. You know where it's at. So Lord, we ask you to be in that, be with them, be with all of us. Father, through the actions of Adam and Eve, today we live in a situation that I believe just makes you weep, because the chaos and the pain of this world is not what you had designed at the beginning. You knew it would happen. You knew it would break your heart, but anyway, you started something. And you've never let it go. You've never walked away from it. As bad as it has gotten, you still stand by.
Yeah.
Keep your hands on it. Keep your eyes on it. Shed your tears and break your heart for it.
Yes, Jesus.
Because you are long suffering for the stupidity of man, for the ignorance of man. It would be so much easier if the whole world just showed a tenth, a thousandth of the love and compassion, forgiveness that you give every second, every moment of every day. So, Father, sweep across this globe like the angel of death at Passover. Not that people would die, but that their old selves would die so the new could be born in you, Jesus.
Jesus.
Because we need you.
Jesus. Yes.
So help us to put away the old and put on the new. Help us take our hearts of stone and turn them into hearts of flesh. Help us to make heaven here on earth.
Amen.
Preparation
Yeah.
for your return. Because we know you're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
You've made that promise, and you are faithful to your word. So, Father, we love you, and we await your return. Ask all these things in the precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Yeah.
Well, my watch just said try to stand up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about where it's at.
Is that a king size bed you got back there?
No, and I'll explain to you why off the air.
At a hostel?
Yes, I'm at a hostel. But I should. I'm at the Holiday Inn Express, so I think I'm going to wake up tomorrow knowing some sort of brain surgery or esthetology or something.
Okay, well, make sure you leave.
I'm
your
expecting
hand
to be
cocked when you
smart.
leave.
Okay.
What you doing? Nothing, chilling at the Holiday Inn. That was a song. I just can't say that. Sure, no. Chingy.
All right, guys, go get jiggy with it.
Yeah, God
No,
bless.
no,
guys.
no, 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 no.
No.
See you next week.
See you guys. Have fun.
Bye, God. God bless.
Bless you. May God bless you.
We on?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not until Sarah says we're done.
Wings like eagles.
We're off.